Now, with that being said, I want to highlight something that bothers me, and I'm gonna hold homies and anybody with brown skin accountable. And I think this is fucked up. And I see this and I get a little pissed, and I'm gonna put motherfuckers in the hot seat. And I don't mean you, homie, because I don't see this coming from you, but I do see a lot of other podcasters and people with
a platform
that could give us some love that never do, and it pisses me off. So the other day I was seeing King Little G was on Community, right?
I didn't watch that, but yeah, I think I seen something about that.
I skimmed through it real quick because they were telling me, like always, I'm not even gonna lie, call it narcissistic, whatever, but I never seen Hood Stocks in my life until they told me they mentioned my name, so I just checked it out, see what the shit he was talking about.
I get it.
They were saying they shouted me out on the Community, so I checked it out. But one thing I do notice is they'll get props. Our own people don't ever want to get props. They take the shortcut and they take the route to exit out. And I'm gonna bring up a specific situation, and this is something that's been happening for years, homie. Like, they'll ask on these podcasts, what about this? What about this? And motherfuckers duck the question. So I don't know when it was, but someone tagged me in it, and it was Duno, a white dude, and AD, and they were sitting on the couch.
All right.
And it still had the No Jumper logo because it must have been a couple months ago, but they were asking them, who's the top rappers of all time, right? And there were Eminem, all the usuals. And then the white boy in the middle was like, yo, Duno, what do you think about, Hispanic rappers? And AD was emphasizing it. He kind of like brushed it off. And he's like, yeah, well, if anybody was popping while I was in high school, it was like King Little G fool, and he might have said what it did. But he's like, but I listen to Mac Miller, homie, And it's like, the dude looked at him like he was like, what? Like, he's like, you smoke weed? And he's like, no, I don't smoke weed, but that's what I was listening to. And it was just like, to me, that's a dismissal. To me, that's some fucking punk shit. Like, I'm not gonna call the homie punk, but that action, we need to take more responsibility. We need to be more proud of our people. Like, he could have used that platform and been like, fuck yeah, King Little G, we got homies out here with brown skin rapping. We got Drummer Boy, we got a campaign. There used to be a group named Campaign that spit like a motherfucker that could outspit half these blacks out here. Like, where's the pride, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like us as people in the community, that's why I'm doing my podcast. Cause it's like nobody gives us our props. Nobody does it right. It's like we have to have our own shit. These motherfuckers take our screenshots and take shit, talk about Blueface gets robbed for a chain, and use my picture with my homies from my neighborhood in the park and get a million fucking views with the Swifty Blue Cat and talk hilarious. About Blueface. So my whole point is this. It's no disrespect to none of them. Whoever's doing it, I don't even think Swifty Blue knew that. It's whoever's clipping shit, right?
Yeah.
So my whole point is, people want to highlight the bad. Nobody ever wants to highlight the good. What do you think it's going to take? Being now that you're in a position of power over there and you can have a voice, so what's it going to take, homie?
And in defense of Duno, because that is my little homie, he's actually the person that put me in position over there at No Jumper. I mean, he didn't give me my job over there or anything, but he took me up there and they liked whatever the bullshit I was talking, whatever, what have you. He's a little kid, fool, so he's like, what, 22, 23, so maybe he don't know any better. He didn't face the same struggles and tribulations that we went through, trying to come up, trying to break through the ceiling note. And maybe he really only listened to Mac Miller. Maybe he only was aware of King Little G and Drummer or what have you. Could he have said more? Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? But in that same sentence, I'm going to say that maybe he was just being true to himself, you know what I'm saying? He didn't really think anything of it. He wasn't seeing beyond.
I see that.
As far as me and my position, my podcast, The Sauce, which is barely starting to percolate or whatever, barely starting off, nowhere near this or No Jumper or anything, just starting off with me and my homie Smoke. We're focusing primarily on brown homies, specifically, because that's what I'm well-versed in. I've shot every fucking homie except for you and Capone, the only people I haven't filmed.
Yeah.
Frost, Little Rob, fucking everyone. Literally everyone.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I know. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm up there at No Jumper, I have no problem talking about our brown skin and what we do or making little jokes when everyone... You know what I'm saying? Like, people make little jokes. I'm down to joke back. I have no problem. I'm very slick. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem talking shit neither. So, I don't know. It's just a generational thing. I think the younger generations just don't know what it is, G. You know what I'm saying?
I agree to that. And that's what I was about to highlight. And I didn't want to cut you off, but you were saying the little homie's a youngster.
Yeah.
Maybe he don't know. Well, then it's
on
for
us
people
to put
like
on.
us to put them on there, homie. So little Duno, the little homie from the area, I tapped in with you before. It's all love. I mean this with nothing but love. I send this message with love and respect.
You fools are from the same area too.
Homie,
no
you know
bullshit.
what I'm saying? It's like, I don't feel like people... Yeah, and it's like motherfuckers do everything they can. But then I got a room full of Crips that'll be like, shout out to Mr. Criminal, real nigga.
They're
out
older.
there.
They're
Come
older.
on, Holmes. You know
They're
what I'm
much
saying?
older though.
Nah,
fool.
but I got Zoe Osama tapping in. I got one of the hottest cats out here. They got one of the biggest songs out here. That dance track that's cracking from all on TikTok.
How old is Zoe Osama?
I really don't know, but I know he ain't one of these older cats. He ain't definitely.
But
ain't
he
one of
also
these
makes
older
music.
cats.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But my whole point is this: we have a responsibility, and I just want to highlight to our community that if you guys ever get in a position to highlight us, don't take the exit, because I'm only bringing up Duno because I just saw that 2 days ago.
No, absolutely.
And this shit's been happening the whole 24 years I've been in the game.
Forever.
So it's like,
literally forever.
And they just highlighted, I was just getting ready to come over here, and the homie FKM had a response about King Little G being on that same show.
Yeah.
And I guess they said something like, yeah, they were giving him and drummer props, like, yeah, you know, we give you props. You guys' shit is better than the last shit. It's so good, we damn near almost like it. Something like that, right? So it's like, it's becoming too common for all cultures to not give us our props.
Yeah.
So it's getting to the point where it reminds me of that interview with Tupac where he's like talking about knocking on the door. Where he's like, at first we're hungry, we're gonna knock, and we're gonna be like, can you please let us in? After a while, the knock gets harder. Now you start kicking out. Now at the end, we kicking the door with a strap. Like, everybody get on the motherfucking ground. That's why I pretty much feel I'm at. I'm tired of asking for respect. I'm tired of, now we're gonna take this shit. Cause I'm gonna say this.
You have to ask for respect after everything you've done.
It's the community.
That's crazy. Fool.
Nah, it's not me. I'm cool. I'm straight. I'm right here in my compound. I got 7 lowriders. I got brand new whips, everything, exotics. I'm cool, but I'm riding for my people. And since I got in this motherfucker, I always said I would ride for my people. So the fact that they don't give us respect on the whole culture, when we as Latino rappers out here on the West Coast done sold, in our heyday, 90%, if you weren't Dr. Dre, Snoop, or Tupac on the catalog, you weren't outselling us in our heyday.
Facts.
Like, come on, Holmes, where the fuck's the respect? So that's where I'm getting at. It's like when I see these little moments, that shit pisses me off and fires me up. So I wanted to bring that up to you to have a educated response, because I know that you're in that seat. And I know that if it came to you, you might shed some light on it. And if you didn't before, maybe this conversation will make it happen.
Nah, yeah. But so with that being said, what I will say and for our people is the Brown Bag Podcast is an all Latin cast.
That's dope.
On Power 106 every single morning.
That's hard.
And I think the other side has even said something about that and even maybe voiced some complaints or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't really know what else to say as far as that goes. You know what I mean? Just to
can't satisfy everyone for sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
But we gotta let the little generation know, the younger generation know that if they get into positions where they get asked by other races, don't just blow us off.
Another thing too, like they might also be semi-intimidated by our generation. I want to say I'm the generation after you, because realistically, I don't know what our age gap is or what have you, but you were there first. There's no question about that. So a lot of people, like you said, someone got robbed. They use your guys' photos because it's intimidating perhaps to some people, you know what I'm saying? So maybe they're intimidated on wanting to involve some of the older homies.
That makes sense.
And shit like that too, you know what I'm saying?
That makes a lot of sense.
And then, you know, there's the internet's a different place than it was when we first started, you know what I'm saying? They might clip this and it'll go viral, or clip something from here, you know what I mean? And as opposed to back then when people were dropping real gems and putting on for the raza or whatever, and fucking now it's just in the archives, just dust collecting, you know what I'm saying?
I see.
That's the best take I could probably give on that. They might be intimidated and they don't know no better, and also they just might not want any parts of what being part of our original culture is, which is on some real serious gang shit, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of it is, but I feel like there's certain people that need to take their platforms and start educating, and that's what I'm trying to do. Our shit definitely was raised on the gang shit, but it don't have to stay there. We man. We got kids. We got investments.
Of
we
course,
got buildings.
We
got LLCs.
We want to go home.
Exactly. I'm tired of writing my homeboys in prison. I'm tired of accepting those phone calls and, hey, homie, you could throw a little bit on my... that shit's played out.
I just got a call from Calipat before I was in this moment, so I totally feel it.
It's old, but at least that we still could use our knowledge to everything we've been through is for a reason. And if we just sit here and push smut and push fucking this person's dissing that person and what's up with this motherfucker dissing them, then we're not really doing our job in elevating. Because the people that came before us, our parents were supposed to make us better. And we're supposed to make the next generation better.
And another funny thing is, now that I'm up there, I'm starting to begin to be able to get a little action to do interviews, and a lot of the youngsters that I'm trying to bring up, because obviously they want the young up and coming, you know what I'm saying? Duno almost interviewed all of them, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'll give him credit for that he did take a lot of brown people up to that podcast and give them a platform, you know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
I'm going to see what I could do to get your ass up there, if you'd like to come, of course.
It's all good. You know, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to keep it real. I denied like 3 interviews from that that place. And I mean no disrespect to you. I'm gonna keep it real. Since
Absolutely.
we're talking about it, I've accepted Big Boys, Vlad's, everybody's. I don't like the way Adam 22 interviews people.